Steph, like Michael, changed the game in terms of, you have guys shooting those deep shots and doing the things that he did. Michael changed it by all the dunking that he was doing. And Steph, it's funny, I went to Georgetown, played his school when they were in college, and my son was on Georgetown's team, so I went to the game. And he single-handedly kicked our butts. And I still didn't think he was going to be the player that he become. I take my hat off to him. He's definitely a student of the game. He's worked at his craft.
He's the most disrespected player in the game. People talk about Devin Booker being disrespected. Has Devin Booker won multiple titles? Has Devin Booker been a unanimous MVP? Devin Booker's not disrespected. What's he done? He's just talented. Steph Curry's completely disrespected. There's only 3 players in basketball that have changed the game. Now, there's been a lot of great players. Shaq was great, but he was a unicorn. There was never going to be another Shaq on the market. Same with Kareem. Michael Jordan was the first to change it. How did he change it? Up until Micharl Jordan, it was understood you needed a center to win a championship. And the Bulls, no, guards and wings can dominate. Wasn't about bigs. Didn't have to do that anymore. You didn't have to have a Micharl, didn't have to have a Wilt, didn't have to have a Hakeem, didn't have to have a Kareem, didn't have to have a big. Michael Jordan changed it. You could be driven by wings and guards and win championships and dominate the sport. The second person to change it was LeBron James. Mobility now is essential. We look at Bradley Beal for Washington and ask, what's wrong with Bradley Beal? Why would he stay in Washington? LeBron James changed the way we actually look at talent. If you don't at least consider joining other great players, it's like bad business. Loyalty. Oh, please. That's an eye roll. LeBron changed the way players move. If you don't now consider joining better players, you're just kind of a dumb businessman. And number 3 is Steph Curry. Steph Curry changed how all basketball was played. All of it. When you do a fast break now in basketball, even if you have the numbers advantage, you're allowed to pull up for a three-point shot. Your high school and college coach would have benched you for doing that. Now you are encouraged analytically on a fast break when you have the 3-on-1 advantage numbers-wise to pull up and shoot a 3 if you're the right guy. He essentially eliminated guys like Dwight Howard, an 8-time All-Star who is now seen as an offensive liability. Where would Dwight Howard get drafted today? Giannis now. MVP? Please, can't have him late in the game. He's a liability. He also changed his own position. Nobody really that wants to win a championship looks at Russell Westbrook and says, pure athleticism works. John Wall, similarly. John Wall and Russell Westbrook, they can't shoot at a point guard position. They're seen as liabilities. Teams beg John Wall to shoot jumpers. Teams strategize to let Russell Westbrook keep shooting threes. There's only 3. There's been a million great players. Only 3 have changed it. MJ, LeBron, and Steph. Joy Taylor with the news.
No.
Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
Well, speaking of making threes, the Jazz.
Oh, I watched the first half of that game. Joy, first of all, the Lakers now are so depleted, they can't defend. First of all, they don't hit the 3. They can't defend the 3.
They scored 89 points last night.
I know.
The Jazz won 114-89 last night. Lakers' 4th loss in a row, and they're struggling without Anthony Davis and Dennis Schroeder in the lineup. After the game, Frank Vogel was asked if he was disgusted by anything that he's seen from his team during the stretch, but he remains confident that they will bounce back.
Nothing's disgusted me. I love our guys. We're competing. We're grinding. We're staying together. We're shorthanded, and a tough part of our season. But we know it's a marathon, and our group's staying connected and ready to compete again on Friday night. Try to turn this thing around, but very confident in our group.
The Jazz made 22 three-pointers.
Yeah,
shot 46% from the 3. And held the Lakers to 40% shooting, 8 of 33 from three-point range.
You know what the bubble's really tough on injury-depleted teams because they've scrunched all the games together now. So you're playing more games in a shorter time. So when you're injury depleted,
It hurts you much more,
way more punitive.
especially someone like Anthony Davis.
Right. So what you're asking is LeBron essentially, you don't get that extra day to rest. You're basically play, fly, hotel, nap, little shoot around, play. So all the teams that are struggling are the teams that are depleted. Maybe they have an older veteran guy who probably shouldn't be playing 38 minutes. Los Angeles is just, this is not a team built for this current NBA schedule off the pandemic, which is every other night you're playing.
What benefited them in the bubble is now hurting them in this condensed season.
Yeah.
Which shouldn't be too surprising considering that the Lakers and the Heat also struggling. Heat also had major injuries. Celtics were teams that were in the bubble late. And as we saw with the Lakers, the bubble really benefited them because they didn't have the travel. They didn't have the wear and tear, and they were a veteran team with great leadership, similar to the Heat, who were able to withstand the pressures of the bubble and benefit from not having that. Now, the Lakers are second worst in three-point shooting percentage in the NBA. They're trying to make up for the points that they don't have with Anthony Davis and Dennis Schroeder.
And what happens when you're tired? You lose your legs. What happens when you lose your legs? You lose your shot. So the Lakers suddenly are a fatigued team that cannot shoot and can't defend the three and rush people off the three-point line.
They're hoping to get Schroeder to clear protocol and be back on Friday. They desperately need him. Obviously, he's not dealing with an injury. He's in COVID protocol. But this is really showing that they need to make sure that Anthony Davis is 100% healthy before they bring him back. And yes, I'm with you. It's not my favorite. It's not my favorite, but that's been Anthony Davis's career. Like this is the book on him, and they have to make adjustments. But while we're talking about the Lakers, the Jazz are playing unbelievable basketball. So if they are healthy going into the playoffs and the Lakers aren't, I mean, who are you picking in a 7-game series?
Well,
it's Lakers Jazz right now.
So what is this schedule benefiting this year? So we have a scrunch schedule. What did you call it? A condensed schedule.
Condensed.
So who is it benefiting? Teams that have done the same system for 2 or 3 years, that have depth.
And a couple stars. So what happens? Utah is playing the same system for years. They've got depth. They don't need the extra day of coaching. They don't need the extra day of rest. A lot of these games are teams rolling the ball out and playing. Well, yeah, you're not getting the same amount of shoot-arounds, practices,
tape study. So Utah's been running the same system under Quinn Snyder for years. They're healthy, they're deep, they're talented. So what you're basically, a lot of these games are coming down to, it's a little bit like, not AAU style, but it's like, let's just go play tonight. You're not having big film study. So a team like Utah, by the way, Philadelphia's got 3 stars, and they're healthy right now. Brooklyn. So it's a league in which offensive star-studded teams are going to have some advantages here, because when you play an offensive star-studded team, you need an extra day of prep and coaching and film study to try to limit somewhat of their offense.
Yep.
So Utah's right now with this team and this staff can roll the ball out and win 55 games.
And they are.
Yeah.
Zion Williamson was selected to his first All-Star game this year, and he is also thinking about participating in the dunk contest.
Boom.
He was asked yesterday about the possibility, and he left the door open. He did not commit. He said, I might. You never know. We all obviously are aware of the LeBron James dunk contest saga throughout his career and not getting that. So hopefully we see this from Zion Williamson. I could see him doing the LeBron thing and not doing it, though.
You know, it's so funny. People are now saying, I don't know how good he'd be in the dunk contest. Okay, let's just stop doubting him. First of all, he would do it with such power. You don't have to just dunk clever.
Who's saying that?
The Twitter.
Oh, Twitter.
Twitter is saying today that I don't know how good he would be in a dunk contest. I'm going to go with he would win it.
You know, Twitter has about 6 bad days and 1 good day a week. This would be one of those bad days. Zion Williamson is obviously going to win the dunk contest.
Yes, obviously.
He's the most, without doing, he would just do that. Just do that. What he does in the game is the dunk contest. I understand, the dunk contest, it gets a little gimmicky and you got to, do a lot to win these days, but he's higher than the backboard.